Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to PJ with TJ. Today, my class is called Freedom, and I will be, as we're doing our class, thinking about things that make us free. And in today's times, it's kind of, I think, important to think about what freedom really is. So we're going to get started. It's an easy class. It can be up to moderate, depending on how you want to do your poses. So we're going to start an easy pose, or I'm going to sit on a bolster. You can sit on a blanket or have a block underneath your ischial tuberosities, your sit bones, so that your knees are a little higher than in your hips. It gives for better alignment in the spine and a little bit more stability. It's a little bit more comfortable also. So we're going to do our easy pose warm-ups. We're going to start with the wrist. Just begin by circling them around. And then let's reverse that. We're just warming up. And we're going to do our shoulders. So we're just going to bring them back, around and back. We're just doing 4 or 5 warm-ups on the joints, so that when we get into the poses, our joints are warmed up and lubricated. And let's bring that to stillness, and then let's do just some shoulder shrugs. So bring your shoulders up to the ears and down. Up. Really squeeze them up and down. I just think that feels really good anyway. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Maybe 2 more. I think that's 5 or 6. Last one. Oh, squeeze, 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 and relax. Whew, that felt good. Now we're going to try and squeeze our shoulder blades together. So I'll turn around this way so you can see the back. So we're just like chicken wings, bringing our shoulders back, which should do a great lifting of the heart, opening the chest. Let's go back and take a deep breath in. You should feel really open this way, and then just relax that out. I'm going to come back and face the camera. It's also easy to spin around when I'm on the bolster to show you the back side. We're going to do our last one. So breathe in and squeeze back. And I'm just doing some easy breaths while I'm squeeze. Tighten your glutes while you're squeezing. And one more deep breath. And let out with a ah. Where your shoulders should feel pretty loose. And let's work on a little bit of the neck. So we're just going to take our head, nose over right shoulder, hold it, and to the front. Nose over left shoulder, hold it, to the front. Oh, that felt good. We're going to go 2 more to the right and 2 more to the left. So here we go. Breathe in and exhale to the right. Hold it for a breath. On your next exhale, return to center. Inhale to the left. Exhale. Nice breath in. And exhale to center. Inhale. To the right. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, center. Last one to the left. Inhale to the left. And hope you're sitting up nice and straight. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale to center. Whew, that felt really good. Now let's switch your legs so that the opposite leg is on top if you were sitting in easy pose. And let's work on our mouth. A lot of people hold a lot of tension in the mouth, so we're going to just kind of relax the mouth and the jaw. So let's start by you can bring your fingertips up to your joint, your jaw joint that's right even with the earlobe. Well, if you have long earlobes, it may not be quite even. Just even with the ear, you know where your jaw joint is. You can open your mouth and close and feel where the jaw opens and closes and hinges. And we're just going to give that a gentle massage. We're going to go, let's go 5 or 6 rotations, very slow, like I'm coming in and backward towards the jaw and then bringing it forward and back. That's 3, 4, just little circles, 5, 6, and then let's reverse that. So I'm going to start at the bottom jaw and roll up to the joint and around towards the front of the face. 1, 2, nice and slow. Don't forget to sit up, pull your abs in. 3, 4, last one, 5. I should have said to have your hands clean. And now we're just going to follow the jawline, the bottom jawline down and around to the chin. And then come up to the upper lip. So you're up on the upper teeth and follow that around till you hit the jawline. And bring it down to the bottom jawline. I guess that's the jawline on the bottom. And roll up till you're on the teeth, the gum line of the teeth, till you get to your jaw joint. And just stop there. Now let's take our fingers and give our neck a gentle massage. Just massaging the back of the neck. We did some neck turns. And I kind of like to turn as I'm giving a little gentle massage. It feels so good. Whoop, don't forget your abs. Pull your abs in nice and tight. And then we're going to do just some neck rolls. And you can do full rolls around. I recommend that you do not put your neck too far backwards. That's not good for the neck. I'm just gently going around. And my head is fairly even with the neck spine line. I'll turn sideways so you can see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to reverse, so it's time to reverse. You can see I'm not really pulling my head back. I'm looking up a little bit, but I'm not cranking my head up like I was going to look straight up at the ceiling. I used to do that when I was younger, and now that I've studied yoga and different problems that's come up, I find that's really bad for your neck to really bend it backwards that way. So I would refrain from that. Sorry, my eyes are a little itchy. So we've done our jaw massage. I'm going to take my glasses off. And let's give our eyes a little bit of attention here. I'm just going to gently place my fingertips over my eyes and just very gently do a little rotation on the eyeballs. And that feels really good, actually. If your eyes have been stressed, maybe they've been reading a lot, or just the outside air, allergies, and just reverse that. I'm going to go up a little bit on my forehead and across my brow line, around the eye socket, and then back the other direction. Ruffle your eyebrows, smooth the eyebrows out, and come back around. That felt very nice. Sometimes I forget how good that feels, but I'm glad I remembered it today. Now, this would be best for our next pose. We're going to do a hero's pose. I'm going to do my hero's pose sitting on a bolster. You can do a hero's pose if you want. And I would suggest that you put something underneath for your knees to be comfortable on. But for some people, hero's pose is very hard to do. You can put the bolster back like this. I'll try to show you some alternatives. And sit back like that. You can have your toes bent up, which we're going to be doing toe pose later on. So I would suggest that maybe don't do toe pose on your hero's pose right now, because we're going to be really stretching the toes out in just a bit. So you can sit like this. You can just sit up on your knees if you want. I'm going to just straddle my bolster. You could have a couple of blankets. If you don't have a bolster, you can use couch pillows or bed pillows. Just something to stay nice and comfortable. We're doing kind of a relaxed hero's pose. Maybe a hero's pose that's pretty tired. And we're going to do fire breath. If you have never done fire breath or skull breathing or capella breathing, what you do is you're going to inhale through the nose, and then you can put your fingers here. And I hope you haven't ate anything, because it is kind of a forceful breath, but it's very good for stimulating oxygen throughout the body and relieving stress and just getting the heart pumping and the blood flowing. So it's a great breath. But after you inhale, you breathe only through the nose. Do not let any air escape through the mouth. And then you blow the air out in short, forceful burst. And you try to get up to the count of 10 while you're blowing the air out. I still haven't got there. I kind of run out of steam. But just get as many as you can, and we will do 5 rounds of this. I will demonstrate one, and then you will go at your own pace. And when you finish your 5 rounds, or if you don't feel well enough to do 5 rounds because maybe you ate too much, then just stop and just do a peaceful rest with your eyes closed and think about how that you're feeling after your fire breath. Ready? That was 1. So that was my demonstration. Now we'll do 5 more so that you can go along with me, or you can just do as many as you feel comfortable with. always makes me sweat. I think it really it brings up a lot of sweat for me. So I hope that you enjoyed your fire breath. I like to do this one, especially in the fall, getting ready for Halloween, because another name for it is skull breathing breath. So anyway, let's just close our eyes for just a second and just enjoy the feeling that round of breath brought us. I actually feel really alive through my head and my skull, which is probably why it's called skull breathing breath. My lungs feel more open. Actually, my whole airway feels more open. We should have blown our nose before we started. So as you're just thinking about that, maybe you need a Kleenex. I'm gonna grab a Kleenex here. I had to turn my phone off, but apparently I did not, because that brought up a lot of stuff. If you have any kind of nasal congestion, this is a good one to try because it may clear out your sinuses. Oh, I can't get that Kleenex out. It really did bring up some stuff. That's good. Might be a good one to do in the morning when you first wake up, so that you have your sinuses cleared out. And if you're into the neti pot, then you could do the neti pot afterwards and start the day with open sinuses. So from here, I'm going to move my bolster out of the way and come into a tabletop position. And we're going to do a little tabletop warm up. So just do a few wiggles, whatever you think you need. Maybe come back, stretch, and forward. Oh, feels good. Okay, let's do a C curve in our tabletop. And if your knees bother you, and I'm going to put this under my knees just because I'm old and my knees bother me, and it's more comfortable to have a little extra padding. So in tabletop, to do C curve is you swing your hips and your head to the right, like you're trying to look at your hips. So you have a nice C curve here, and then just go to the other direction. We're just going to do this 5 times on each side. When you get to your C curve, take a moment to have a breath, and then on your exhale, go to the other side. Take a moment to have a breath, and exhale to the other side. Continue in that fashion. Try to remember your breathing until you've completed at least 5 on each side. I'm on number 3. Very slow movements. This is really great for the spine. It's also good for your digestion. And last one, just nice fluid movements, slow flow, letting our bodies be free to move in a way that helps them to feel better. Our next pose in tabletop is going to be cat-cow. And we're going to breathe, inhale into cat, and hold for a breath. Exhale into cow. Actually, we're going to do 3 breaths in the position. And on your last exhale, roll up back into cat. 3 nice, easy breaths. On your last exhale, into cow, and continue on with your breathing pattern until you've completed 5. I'm on number 3. Don't forget your breaths at the top of your pose. That's where you're getting the benefit, holding a pose. And then on your last exhale, just flow slowly into the next pose, which is cow or cat, depending on where you're at. Nice and slow. My last one, into cat for 3 breaths. They're not necessarily deep, they're just a normal, regular breath. Exhaling into cow for 3 nice, gentle breaths here. And when you're doing this pose, I hope that you're keeping your legs strong. And then just come back into tabletop. And we're going to go into puppy pose. So let's take our knees a little wider than our hips. And I'm going to have to take my glasses off for this one. We're going to walk our hands up. And as you see, my back is going to stay straight. And I'm going to let my head come down. I'm trying not to curve my back so that my forehead is down. And I'm going to turn my head and melt my heart down into the mat. It's also called melting heart. We'll do 3 breaths. And then slowly come up. I had my head to the right there. And I'm going to go back down for one more puppy pose or melting heart pose with my head turned to the left for 3 breaths down. On my last exhale, I'm going to walk my hands back up, put my glasses back on in the process. This is a great one for stretching your shoulders and lengthening the spine. Now I'm back up into tabletop with my knees hip width apart, which you can make sure your knees are hip width apart by putting your hands pointing down on your hip bone, and your knees should be right underneath that. This is wider than the hips, you see. This is hip width apart. Remember, the hips is where the hip bone is, not your accessories out here. So we're going to go into a child's pose. You can leave your blanket under your knees. For child's pose, I'm going to take my blanket out just because I'm a little bit more in line with the mat. So inhale and exhale down into child's pose with your arms stretched out. Your knees may have to be out just a little, not too much, but out a little. I think it feels more comfortable that way than straight, especially if you have knee problems, and I do. It's best to have the knees going out at an angle. So I said hip width apart, but that, now that I've done it, I think at an angle is better for me. It's your yoga practice, so you pick which is best for you. Knees straight or knees angled out. We'll do 3 breaths down here. On your next exhale, we're going to walk the hands to the right. Left hand follows and do a nice side stretch in our child's pose. Do 3 breaths. On your next exhale, return to center. Do a breath. Inhale. And exhale, left hand to the left, right hand follows, and head is in between the arms for 3 breaths here. Nice side stretch. On your next exhale, return to center. We're going to do that 1 more time on each side. So inhale. Right hand to the right, left hand follows, which then makes your head follow and makes you go into a nice side stretch. On your next exhale, return to center slowly. Inhale. Exhale, left hand to the left, right hand follows, which makes your head follow, and it's in between both arms, so you're in a side stretch. On your next exhale, return to center. And just take a pause there. See how you're feeling. And meet me up in tabletop. We're going to stretch the feet out just a little bit, the leg. So we're going to take our right leg and push it back. My toes are curled under. And hopefully I have good form. I think I do. And I'm just going to rock back gently, which really gives a great calf stretch. Don't overdo it. And we're just going to rock, oh, maybe up to 10 times, just back and forth. Because we're wanting to kind of stretch the toes out, the legs out. I think I'm on about 8, 9, and 10. Bring the right knee in. Stretch the left leg out. Curl your toes under. Try to make sure that all of your toes are on the mat as you push back. And it's a very gentle push. Don't overstretch. You should really feel it through the calf. And we're waking our toes up because next we will do toe pose. And you might want to have your blanket or a bolster handy. I think that's 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Just hold it for a second. Bring that knee up. Now to do toe pose, you're going to curl your toes under. I'm going to have a blanket handy. And you're going to make sure that all of your toes are on the mat with some space in between, with the mat showing through the toes. If your toes are not flexible for that, then just try to do the best you can. So you might have to have your feet flat out or just kind of up on the tiptoes and not putting a lot of pressure bending the toes. A lot of people's toes are very rigid, which as you get older, the more rigid your toes are, the more likelihood that you may take a fall or a tumble because your toes are not bending as they should. Now you can take a blanket. I'll keep sideways. So you can sit on your blanket. It's just over my thighs. I've got my toes curled. And then you're just going to sit back into, this is called toes pose. I'll lift this up. I'm just sitting on my toes basically. Remember as a kid, you used to do this for hours? No, that's more comfortable. I have to move my blanket. Adjust your blanket so it feels good. My toes are already like, ow! So we're going to do a few exercises while we are in toe pose. The main focus, though, is to stretch our feet and toes. So let's take 5 breaths, equal length, and equal inhale and equal exhale. Maybe to pick a number between 5 and 7. So I'm inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. My toes are screaming. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we can roll forward and give our toes a break because we're going to do a few more. So let's bounce them, the top of the toes on the mat. If your wrists are bothering you, lower down to your elbows. Woo! I'm curling the toes back under. They're sore already. And putting my blanket back underneath here. And if it's too much pressure to sit, just stay up this time with your toes curled under. I think I might do that. So I'm just going to stay up with my toes curled under. And then we're going to reach our fingers up high. I might tip back just a little. So hands up high. And spread your fingers wide. I'll turn this way for this. Really spread those fingers, spread those toes, and then clench into a fist. Tighten your glutes, lift your lower abs, tight, 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 spread, fist, tighten your abs, your glutes, your legs, relax, spread the fingers. One more time. Fist, tight, 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 and relax. Little finger hand exercise. Then the next one is going to be we're going to just bring the arms up and bring the hands in and out. So we're lubricating a little bit on the elbows. We've done the wrist and the shoulders. We haven't done much on the elbows. As we are in toe pose, if your toes get tired or cramping, please come out and shake them out on the top of the mat in your tabletop position. And then my elbows are just going to go up, just bending, which also helps the shoulders there. Again, a little arm exercise in. And then come down, release toe pose, tap your toes on the mat. Whew. And we're going to go back into our hero's pose. So I'm getting my bolster for that. And we're going to do a little hero's twist. So I'm going to inhale, my arms up straight out on a T, and twist and forward and to the left. We'll do 5 on each side. Twist to the right. Hold it for a count of 3. 3 breaths, not hold it, but 3 breaths. On your last exhale, return to center. This is wonderful for digestion. Inhale. Exhale to the left. This is number 2, and it's also great for your spine health. And exhale to center. Inhale, exhale to the right. We're freeing our spine, making it more lubricated, making it more flexible. Exhale to center. And you know that when your spine is flexible, your whole body feels better. Inhale. Exhale to the left. We want to have good spine health. And in order to have good spine health, exhale to center. This might be the last one. I've lost count. Inhale. Exhale to the right. Is to keep our bodies moving in different directions, but not overstraining. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the center. Inhale. Exhale to the left. For last one on the left side. 3 breaths. Or depending on how you're breathing, you may only get 2 in, or you may get 4 in. That's fine. Just exhale. On your last exhale, return to center. My arms are getting a little tired, so let's bring those down. Kind of circle them around, wave them, give them a little break. So, and from hero's pose, we're going to meet in tabletop again. Let me get my blanket ready for my knees. I probably shouldn't even bother because what we're going to next, it might get in the way, but let's go ahead and flutter our tops of our toes on the mat again. Give a little massage to the tops of the feet, which when you do this, you're bringing a lot of blood flow down to your feet. And pushing it back up because it's moving and you're kind of thumping on it. So curl your toes under and push up into down dog. We'll do a little down dog flow, which is when you get situated, let's do a little walking the dog. You should get pretty warmed up by now, especially in the calves from that when we did a tabletop, rolling back onto the toes. That was a great calf stretch. That's why we did that, to get ready for this. And then when you feel ready, or maybe you don't, you can try to lower your heels to the mat. You may or may not get the heels to the mat, and it doesn't matter. They can stay raised up. I think I'm going to keep mine up about an inch just because I feel a little tight today. Now I want you to take and roll your biceps in towards your head. It just gives you a little bit more stability here in down dog, and it uses a different part of your arms. And then we're going to walk the feet up a couple of inches until you can hold your right ankle with your left hand. And we're going to twist and look underneath. This is a great spinal twist. And we're going to hold it here for 3 breaths. It's also a good hamstring stretch. Feel it in my hamstrings. And release. And I'm going to grab my left ankle with my right foot and look underneath my arm, twisting my spine. I'm hoping that I'm staying in the correct down dog alignment with my tailbone facing the ceiling. And I'm just twisting my spine for that nice spinal twist. On your next exhale, come back to center. Take a moment of breath here. And we're going to go one more time into our down dog spinal twist. So inhale and exhale, grabbing your right ankle with your left foot hand, and then looking underneath your armpit, which just that little movement is what gives the spine the twist. If your hamstrings are too tight, raise up a little bit on your heels. You can adjust that stretch by lowering the heels or raising the heels. Return to center. Take a breath here. Exhale as you grab your left ankle with the right arm. And I'm looking under my armpit with my head, which is giving a great spinal twist and hamstring stretch. This side is a lot looser, so I'm able to stand flat here. On the right side, I had to be up a little bit, probably an inch on my heels. On your next exhale, return to center and walk your hands back. If you're tight through your legs, bend your knees generously, or you can use your blocks. I didn't have my blocks handy. I'm just going to grab this blanket over here. And that gives me a little bit of height. And I'm just bent over at the hip crease. I hope my back is, I'll try to look. Yes, it's straight. When I say straight, I mean it's not like this curved up. If you can keep your back at a straight angle, pretend it's like a ski jump. You don't want a big hump in a ski jump. You want to come and go straight off. So from here, we're going to, And make sure that you're standing on your whole foot. So bend your knees to whatever degree you need to bend them to get the whole foot down, and keep your back straight. We're going to lift up and grab our elbows into ragdoll. So your head, your arms are hanging. We can gently swing side to side. Very gentle. And that feels really good. You can swing back and forth. And then from ragdoll, I'm going to move my blanket out of the way. I'm going to walk my hands forward into plank. And we're going to hold our plank. I got to get my clock down here. We're going to hold our plank for 30 seconds. So, begin. If you already began, then you can quit before I say 30 seconds. I'll tell you when I'm on 20, or there's 10, 15, 20, 25. If you started before I got my clock, that's when you can probably end for 30. 18, 19, 30 seconds, sorry. Bring your, we're going to lower down slowly. We're really using the arm muscles. And I'm going to remove my glasses. We're going to do a little crocodile pose for a little rest here. Remember which hand is on top. Your hands should be on top of each other with your forehead resting on top of your hand. I'm going to have my head up a little bit so I can talk, because we're going to stay here about 10 seconds or so and then switch hands. Crocodile pose is a great pose to rest your mind. Take a breath in and exhale and switch the other hand on top and lay your forehead back down. So if you're feeling anxious, go into crocodile pose. And then bring your arms down and around by your side, or so that you're not by your side, but so that they are even with your shoulders. We're going to push up into baby crocodile. Don't push up all the way. Just push up to where your back can come up on its own, and your hands are here for support. This is much better for your spine, and trying to really push it up like you see on the regular pictures, and then lower down into crocodile pose again. Exhale and switch hands. The other hand on top is what I mean. The next exhale, bring your hands around even with the shoulders again. Lifting up. I should say lifting up and not pushing, because you can see I'm not pushing myself up. I'm supporting. I have my feet flat, the tops of the feet flat on the mat. My glutes are engaged. My legs are nice and tight. On your next exhale, come back down into crocodile pose. Right hand on top of the left. forehead on top of the hands. Switch left hand on top of the right, forehead on top of the left. On your next exhale, bring the hands back even with the shoulders and lift your head up. Tighten your glutes, which then makes your feet not quite so tight on the mat, but they are touching. My legs are tight. And then relax down. I have to see what I have next. I forgot. After cobra pose, baby cobra. Oh, we get to roll over onto our backs into restorative rest pose. And this might be a good time for you to make sure that you have your blanket, your bolster, your eye mask, whatever you might need for Shavasana. If you decide to stay for Shavasana with me, there will be a little inspirational message at the end of Shavasana, which will last about 10 minutes. Or you can just do a short Shavasana and go on about whatever you wanted to finish after you do your yoga session today. So here in restorative rest pose, we're going to bring the right knee up towards the chest, and I'm going to hold it behind my thigh. And I'll do 3 breaths here. This is another one for your digestion, for lower back health. If you're having lumbar issues, this is a great one to do for that. On your next exhale, place the right foot down. Inhale. Exhale the left knee into the chest. Again for 3 breaths. Exhale that foot down. We'll repeat this 2 more times on each side. Inhale. Exhale the right knee into the chest. This is also a great pose for helping to relieve gas. If you have gas in your colon, that can become very uncomfortable. On your next exhale, place the right foot down. Inhale and exhale the left knee into the chest. And you're gently massaging all of the organs in the abdominal cavity through your breathing here. Because whenever you breathe, your leg and your abdominal cavity should come in closer contact, and that kind of gently squeezes the internal organs, your stomach, liver, the parts of the colon. Exhale and bring that down. Last one. Inhale. Exhale the right knee into the chest. I just had my lower back, did a little adjustment that felt really good. So I know I'm loosening up all of those tight muscles. I had to go to the dentist this morning and I was so tense. This is great. Exhale the right foot down. Inhale. And exhale the left knee up and into the abdominal cavity as you breathe. I chipped a tooth. I clench and I have a guard and I was clenched too hard on the guard last night, so I had to go get a filling on that tooth. Just kind of made me have a bad morning and then relax down. But then I thought how lucky I am that I could go to the dentist right after I did something and get my teeth fixed. Some people don't have that privilege. Just take a moment here and we're going to bring both knees up, put your hands on your knees and put your soles of your feet together. And then we're going to rotate the knees in and out together at the same time. We'll do, about 6 in one direction. That's 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then let's reverse that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that felt good. Now we're going to take the feet. The soles are still together. My knees are, of course, now that the soles are together, spreading out. And I'm going to just lift my feet straight up in the air so that my legs are now in a V. I always like this pose. It's great for inner thigh strength and stretching. And we're going to just bring the feet together, knees together, feet up. V, soles together, knees together, feet up. V, soles together, knees together, feet up. We're strengthening here. V, soles together, knees together, straight up. V, we're stretching. Feet together, knees together, straight up. Now we're going to reverse that. So we're going to put the feet together, which makes the knees pop out. V, feet together, knees together, straight up. Feet together, V, straight up. I'm trying to figure out how to reverse it. I guess feet together, V, straight up. Feet together, V, straight up. There we go. Feet together, which makes the knees come out, V, and straight up. Last one. Feet together, V, straight up. And then bring that down to stillness. And we're going to walk our feet out as wide as the mat. And we're just going to let the right knee fall over to the left and the left knee fall over to the right. And just switch, swish, swish, back and forth like windshield wipers, which I had to use this morning. It was raining really hard when I was driving. I got soaked when I got out of the car. I should have brought my umbrella, but I didn't. Swish back and forth. And then I hope that you gathered your things for Shavasana and that you will join me for Shavasana. I'm going to put a bolster under my knees because it's really good for back health to have the knees up in the air. I'm going to grab my cozy blanket. And like I said, you can join me on Shavasana journey, or you can just, I would like for you to take at least a minute to acclimate, because Shavasana is actually a pose also. And what it does for you is it sets everything that we just did. It sets your stretching, your lengthening, and your strengthening. So it lets your body, kind of like molding clay, you want to just let it set and get kind of hardened. Not that we want our body to get hardened, but so that the muscles and joints can harden together and strengthen. I'm just going to put my eye mask on. I'm going to set my clock, and I will meet you back here in 10 minutes because I'm taking a full 10-minute Shavasana. I think I need it in the middle of the day. Now's the time to begin a few stretches, maybe a yawn, a wiggle, any last minute movements that you want to take before rolling over onto your side and laying there for a round of 3 breaths. And on your last exhale, take your top arm and push yourself up very slowly with your head coming up last. I feel very refreshed, real freedom of my body. Some of my aches and pains are lesser now. The anxiety of that dental appointment has kind of gone away. I feel really nice. So that was a great class. And freedom. I picked these cards randomly, and freedom was the one that I picked out today, which I thought was very befitting of the news and the poor people being left behind and the people that chose to stay. I pray that they did not make a ill-informed decision, because I don't feel like that Afghanistan is going to be a very good country right now to be in. And so for that, I am thankful for my freedom. I should have worn my red, white, and blue today, but I already had my camo on. Well, camo for fighting and getting out for freedom, right? And freedom. You are free to change your experience by changing the criteria upon which you base your decisions. Let go of old trapping and express your uniqueness. And as I read that, I picked this card a few days earlier, and of course the Afghanistan thing has been happening for several weeks. I thought, wow, my sense of freedom is so much different than other people's sense of freedom, because their freedom may be just to be able to go to school. And here in America, we're just so blessed, and it makes my heart ache to see the people that are in an uprising about wearing a mask when they could be in an uprising about no education, or if you're a woman that you cannot even walk out without a covering of your whole body. So, each person needs to take their freedom and think about what that means. Remember this: one flag, one land, one heart, one hand, one nation, evermore. Let's rub our hands together and bring that to heart center. Bowing our heads. I honor the light in you and ask that you honor the light in others as you go out through this day and evening. Namaste. I will be doing another class on freedom of chair yoga. I'll probably do that one tomorrow. So I hope that you will be able to see that. I'm trying to post a chair class and a regular mat class for everyone.